Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard Kyle.
I'm Todd.
I'm Corey.
I'm Austin.
And today, because of listeners like you who are on Twitter, who saw our poll, we are playing CYBERPUNK RED.
Yeah, we put up a poll for y'all to pick what game, because we got a bunch. We had CYBERPUNK RED. What were the other options? Fallout.
And Cthulhu Regency.
Yeah.
The last one it's Cthulhu during the time of Jane Austen, basically.
Personally looking forward to that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play all of those. CYBERPUNK RED won fairly definitively.
Yeah.
So today we are playing that. If you don't know what it is, CYBERPUNK RED is a newer version of the Cyberpunk game that came out in the early 1980s, designed by Mike Pondsmith. And if you don't know who Mike Pondsmith is, he's definitely one of the earliest African-American tabletop RPG designers. He's still designing games. He's designed a lot of games.
Yeah. In terms of fame, I would say this is, of course, Dungeons and Dragons is the tippity top, but this is very up there.
Cyberpunk, it is a very big TTRPG, and
I had never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
In the community, you've heard of Cyberpunk though.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, did he coin the term?
Well, I don't think he coined the term cyberpunk, but his game popularized cyberpunk. It was
Gotcha.
Neuromancer and then cyberpunk, and cyberpunk is responsible for pushing a lot of that.
Okay.
Well, I think that just proves that, lots of people like computers and music.
That's a good call.
Thanks, Todd.
No problem.
Today's lesson.
Yeah. I also hear they're into food and having sex.
Pretty sure that's a rumor.
People are wild.
So we're using, today we're going to use pre-generated characters from the CYBERPUNK RED Jumpstart Kit, I think is what they call it. It's their beginner box set. So if you're not familiar with the cyberpunk world, so to speak, this game takes place, I think, in 2045 or thereabouts. You're going to be surprised to learn that it is a dystopia.
Well,
What?
Corporations have massive influence. Central government has largely collapsed. There's been...
Wait, this is the future?
Even more so than now, Tom. There are literal free states in this future. Like California, I think, is its own thing, and a couple other states are called free states where they haven't left the United States, so to speak, but for all intents and purposes, they are their own political entities.
Once again, I have to say,
There's lots of cybernetics and advanced technology, like these devices called agents. They're about the size of a pack of cigarettes, and you can communicate with people, and you can pull up the internet.
No.
yeah, I was really
Get the fuck out.
reading it in our gear. I love sci-fi. Like a pocket-sized machine which functions as a computer and a phone. Sign me up. I can't wait for the future.
right? If only we had those in our time.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you could look at a porn.
You could, Corey.
Can you imagine?
So this is somewhere kind of at the intersection between Blade Runner and The Matrix.
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that, it functions as a computer and a phone. They didn't do something like really unbelievable, like also make it a camera.
Well,
So CYBERPUNK RED is sort of post-apocalyptic in that there was a limited nuclear war is probably the best word for it. Civilization has not completely collapsed, but some parts of the United States are uninhabitable and some cities are rebuilding. And the internet, is, as we know it, is gone. There are localized networks. So, for example, let's say if you lived in Chattanooga, there's probably a Chattanooga net that you would log into.
there kind of is, because Chattanooga was like the first city in the U.S. to have like
Fiber optics.
free Wi-Fi for the entire city.
Oh, but it's okay. They got sued by Comcast, and it's now illegal for cities to do that.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
well-
that's 100% true.
Corporate dystopia, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
In fiction,
Future.
Austin. So, for example, if you were in Nashville, you couldn't hack into something in Chattanooga because you'd be on totally different internets.
Yeah.
And corporate structures, which most of your crimes in this game, and you are playing criminals, are going to be against corporations. If there was a AT&T building in Chattanooga that you wanted to break into, it would be air-gapped as well. They would have their own building net that wouldn't connect to the local net. Not that we're going to be in Chattanooga. That's
oh, okay.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, just in terms of the power of these corporations anyway, the war that resulted in a lot of these nuclear explosions was between nations and corporations, correct?
Well, mostly between the corporations. I forget the names of the corporations, but yeah, the nuke that got set off, one of them was in Night City, which is basically the default setting of the game, was set off by as part of a corporate war. Chicago was devastated by it. Now, the U.S. military still exists, and it had done crazy shit like invade South America with cyber soldiers.
And body modification is really as common as drug use now. It's kind of like getting a tattoo.
Yeah, well, for example, Todd's character has a cyber optic eye. Your characters are not exceptional in this setting.
Oh, yeah. I have a cyber optic eye, cyber arm, a cyber leg with jump boosters. My character, Corey pointed out, looks startlingly like my character in the podcast art.
Yeah.
Now, well, I say you're not exceptional. You're normal cyberpunks. Not everybody is a cyberpunk, quote unquote. So that's the basics. If you want to learn more, the internet exists so far. So mechanically, the core rules are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this game uses primarily D6s and D10s, right?
As far as I know, those are the only dice that are used. The core mechanic of the game is adding your character's stat and skill and a D10 roll together versus a difficulty value.
And you set that difficulty, right?
Yes. For example, an everyday task would be difficulty 14. A legendary task that people are going to write stories about would be difficulty 30. So let's say you go into a room and you're looking for something. You're going to take your intelligence, which is your stat, and your skill perception, add those together, roll a d10, and if you were looking for your agent, not your phone, it's an agent, which is an everyday task, 14, you'd need to have over 14. And if I'm pretty sure, I think this is off the top of my head from the rule book, if you already have over that, you don't even have to roll. You just automatically succeed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Combat is much like other RPGs. There's initiative, people take turns, people fire guns, people take damage, people die. If you've played any RPG, you know how combat goes down in Cyberpunk, because this is Cyberpunk Red is new, but the core of the system is from the 80s. So it's not reinventing the wheel, which actually is fine by me. And there are special rules for net running, which is essentially hacking and dealing with computer systems, but none of your characters are hackers, right?
No, I don't think so.
We are using pre-gen characters today from the starter kit.
Yeah,
we are.
Some of them were special fitted for net running, which I guess kind of adds an element of Tron into the cyberpunk mythos. But
yeah, well, since none of you are hackers, we're not even going to worry about net hacking. But let's talk about those characters. Austin, who is your pre-generated character that you chose?
My character's name is Mover. He's what's called a solo. Voluntarily retired from the military after being caught up in years and years of corporate wars. Like I said, he's heavily modified, heavily addicted to plenty of battlefield narcotics, and has become a mercenary since then. For a change, I'm the tank of the group this time, I think.
I think so. I would like to see a statistic of how many RPG characters are former military turned mercenary.
Well, if you're talking about just my characters, it's most of them. That's not even written in the books. It's just I have very little imagination.
Corey, let's talk about your pre-gen character.
I chose the rocker boy.
Yes.
And is that a geologist?
No, where do you think Cracker Barrel gets their rocking chairs?
I assumed they just stole them from some old man in Tennessee who just has no idea why his rockers keep
This
disappearing.
is the future.
Oh.
So he whittles. My rocker boy's name is 40, as in the number or popular receptacle for malt liquor.
Yes.
With the advent of digital Porta studios and garage music mastering, so again, something that happened 20 years ago. Basically, a rocker, kind of. I mean, picture like a. Well, Bono's a shitty example, but somebody that uses their platform as a rocker to deliver like a message kind of thing. That
pretty much sounds like Bono.
Yeah.
Well, early on.
But that's pretty punk, right? I don't know a lot about punk.
It's definitely punk, yeah.
Okay.
In some ways. That depends on if you're talking about UK punk or Washington, D.C. post-hardcore or Orange County pop.
Well, Corey is a longtime Fugazi fan.
Yes.
No, that's the only band name I know of from punk. I don't know
Well, it's
anything about it.
the
Do you
best
follow
one.
me? Do you follow me on Twitter or something?
Yeah, that's why I know who that is.
Okay. You have a proud history as a rocker boy. Dylan, Springsteen, The Who, the legions of hard rock heroes. Because when I think of hard rock, I think of Dylan.
Yeah, those are all your favorites, Corey.
You have the power to get the people up, to lead, inspire, and inform.
Holy shit, it is Bono.
Yeah, kinda.
Man, even I know those aren't hard rock.
Yeah. And we rolled for things like our background, motivation, goals, friends, etc.
Yeah. I think this is the first pre-gen characters we've used where you had to roll some stuff randomly.
I think Transformers and G.I. Joe have a little bit you can do with that. I think we either chose or we rolled randomly for stuff like that.
Well, I meant specifically for pre-gen characters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's kind of a cool system here where we could even roll randomly for our stats without having to like build out a whole character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So basically his background and all that, he's motivated by power, gaining power, has a lover that was killed in a fight, things like that.
I don't think we've specified if it was with you or not.
Now that's pretty punk rock.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's basically Sid and Nancy. He's got a guitar, of course. Got
Sure.
a slice and dice, which is a monofilament wire mounted in one finger. It cuts through any organic material or plastics.
Like Elton John.
Yeah, it can be used as a garrote or a cutter or a slice whip. It's pretty cool. And then there's some other stuff that if it comes up in the game, it comes up. But that's 40.
Awesome. Todd, who are you playing?
My character is named Torch. He's a tech. You can't leave anything alone. If I sit near it for more than 5 minutes, I've disassembled it and made it into something new.
So you're a toddler.
Oh.
Well, he's kind of, here's what he sounds like. Hey, nice watch.
Oh, I see.
Hey, would you like it to be a flamethrower? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A little bit more about him.
So if Grover was an operator in the Matrix,
He's motivated by love.
Austin.
And
Motivated by love is good. Yeah.
he has 5 enemies, which is 5 more than my 2 partners here have.
Yeah. I think Austin and Corey both rolled no enemies. And Todd rolled
no
5.
He has 2 friends. One is a relative. That's his mom.
Sure.
And the other one
Nice.
is Bob.
Who's just a guy.
Just Bob. Yeah. His personality is rebellious, violent, and antisocial.
So those are the characters pre-generated. We're going to play the beginner set adventure, which I think is just called The Apartment.
Oh, like the Jack Lemmon movie?
I was about to say,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds delightful.
It is almost, it is just the script of that film.
Wow.
I thought it was odd, but that's what they put in here.
Billy Wilder, Cyberpunk.
Why am I going to need a finger whip then?
That's in the movie.
Oh, yeah, I guess there were some BDSM scenes.
Well, I mean, it's Jack Lemmon. I mean, good Lord. The man never saw a harness he didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine it's Jack Lemmon in bondage gear in some dungeon.
Wait, wasn't that the plot of Grumpy Old Men?
How did we get here? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cyber Jack Lemon. It's got a half robot head. And,
the watchword of the day.
James Garner with a mohawk.
oh, yeah. Mathal's got tank treads.
Wilford Brimley, unchanged.
Yeah. Burgess Meredith is just a head.
I want to see this cyberpunk movie now. I really do. All right. Well, let's get started. The Apartment. So the 3 of you are not especially friendly. You don't work together. You're not a normal, quote unquote, adventuring party. You all live in the same apartment building. An apartment building owned by 40. Or rather, that 40 inherited from his family and now owns a massive debt on. With all the other tenants in the building, you guys live on the 3rd floor, 40 just barely manages to make a meager profit at the end of every month. But it's for the dystopian cyberpunk future, you guys live in a fairly nice place. You're a few blocks from the combat zone, which is good. Combat zone is essentially the bad part of town. There's not
Really?
Well, I say that to
Is it because of
specify.
the mortar shells falling all around you?
I say that to specify. It's not full blown military combat.
Okay.
It is just what the powers that be call where the cops go in force.
Okay.
So like parts of Sao Paulo or something. But you're far enough away from the combat zone that you're not in danger from any of the major gang actions that go down. You still pay, a protection fee, quote unquote, every month to a local crime boss, but nothing extortionate. Now, the downside of this is that there are no government services available where you are. You're essentially in the demilitarized zone between the upscale, corporate-owned, and government-subsidized downtown of Night City. Socialism for the rich. You're in kind of a middle-class gray area where there are technically government services, but none of them work. And then, of course, in the combat zone, there's even no pretense of that. And beyond the combat zone, outside of the city, are the, again, functional government-subsidized suburbs, which are conveniently where all the corporate drones live. So you guys live on the third floor of this fairly nice apartment building, 10-story building altogether. Mostly families, what passes for a middle class among Night City residents. Nobody selling Coke out of the front door or anything like that. But one day, you guys notice something unusual. Across the street, a black car has been parked all day, and near it, two obviously private security guys in Militech uniforms. Militech is a corporation with its own private military forces. And they are guarding a guy with a big art tablet, and he's watching your building and making drawings on it. And he's got two cyber cameras on his shoulders that are moving independently of him. Clearly, they're looking at your building. This guy's looking at your building, drawing something.
Are we sure he's not just a cyber caricature artist?
You know a couple. Most don't have Militech guards.
Okay.
But you never know. He could just be doing caricatures of these guys. Maybe they paid him $5, and he's giving them a big nose and a ridiculous forehead. And you see one of your neighbors walking down that street, and one of the guards raises a weapon and shouts, "Get up! Get away! Back up, or you're gonna get shot!" And so this guy who lives in your building is like, "Whoa, hey man, blah 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 blah." You know the guy. His name is Grant Young. He backs up. "Oh, hey, I'm just walking," and he crosses the street to your building and gives them a wide berth. Now, this is not normal behavior in your neighborhood. The combat zone, sure. But for whatever reason, these guys are staked out across from your building, watching your building, and freaking out when anybody comes close. What would you like to do?
Are we together?
Yeah, you guys are in the front office. You and one or two other neighbors are watching this. This has been some talk among the building residents of, why is there this weird car across the street? Most people do not own cars.
Okay.
In Night City.
If I could get over there, I could turn that car into a kiosk.
Like for ear piercing or something?
Torch,
Yeah.
you're the one with all the enemies.
Yeah, I got a few.
Do you not recognize this guy?
I mean, don't you have a corporate executive enemy?
I do.
That guy's in Militech.
Okay.
Militech Corporation, not military.
Okay.
No, it's not the guy
Yeah.
doing the work, but Militech, so somebody in Militech does hate you.
Okay.
The corporate guy in Militech, Matthew Edwards, who hates you, he's a sub-vice president in Militech. So it's entirely possible whatever's going on is some kind of vendetta against you.
Okay. I'm not saying that they're here because of me, but they're probably here because of me.
All these corporate pigs look the same, though, don't they?
So I think I have an idea. Torch, if you walk outside and do a lap around the building and make sure they see you, if I'm already planted outside, if they start following you, I could see
Shoot
about
'em.
ambushing them.
40, what do you think?
Well, I think we don't need these corp pigs near my building, now do we?
40, if I follow the guys, do you think you could break into their car and find out anything about them?
Sure, I can break into a car. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I can't tell if that's a yes or no.
Here we go. I'm going to go outside and you just cover my ass, all right?
All right, I'm going to go out first.
Just let me grab me lockpick. And 40 picks up a giant rock.
Mover goes out first at the front of the building. Now you're just looking innocuous across the street?
Yeah, I'm going to cross the street down at the corner and then kind of make a U and come back up a little bit closer, but now behind the corporate agents.
I assume you're not getting that close.
No, just close enough to where I can keep a visual mark.
And then Torch goes out.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
I'm going to go out and just like make a lap around the building and come back around the front just to see how they react.
But you're not crossing the street.
I'm not crossing the street, no.
They watch you, but don't do anything.
Okay.
You come back around, and one of the Militech guys, bald, aviator sunglasses on, raises an eyebrow, but otherwise ignores you.
What's my enemy's name?
Matthew Edwards. Patreon member Matthew Edwards.
Before Torch goes back inside the building, he looks at the Militech guys and says, "Hey, you guys do me a favor and tell Matthew Edwards he can kiss my ass."
They look at each other. Stay back!
Okay, Mover's going to use this distraction to try and move a little closer and see what it is this corporate agent's drawing.
Okay, what
You're
skill
just
are...
slowly inching towards them. Like,
Yeah.
hey.
What's...
I'm just picturing me like sidestepping into frame.
What skill are you using for that?
All right, so I think for a stealth check, that's going to be dexterity.
Yeah, Dex and Stealth plus a D10.
Okay.
So these guys are competent, so the difficulty would be 18 to get close enough without them noticing you.
All right. I have a dexterity of 7 and a stealth skill of +3. So I've already got a 10, and then I'm rolling a d10.
Okay.
It's a total of 19.
So you just make it. You get kind of edged down the street along the back of a building. The two guards are exchanging insults with Torch, and you can see what this third guy, the weird artist, is drawing on his big tablet, and they're architectural plans. And you can see where, in place of the apartment building that you live in, he's drawing up plans for a communications tower.
Ah. So Mover kind of sidles away and pulls out his agent and calls 40 and says, "Yeah, these guys are planning on tearing down your building."
Oh, what a surprise. Corporate oink oinks wanting to tear down me flats, is it? Shocking.
They're going to put in a communications tower.
So it is not uncommon. It's not common, but it's not unknown for corporations to move in and knock down buildings that they don't own and then force the owners into a very lopsided deal after the building's already demolished. Are you guys going to do anything else or just let these guys get out, eventually leave?
Well, my first instinct is murder, but I'm curious about what you guys think.
Let's kill him.
The guy with the tablet is probably just an architect.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be bringing in a bulldozer or anything.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. But I want to write a message on those plans.
I want to turn his tablet into a scooter.
If you would like to initiate violence, just let me know, and
Yeah,
I'd be
let's do
happy to help usher that in.
So I wonder if there's a way we can recon the surrounding area to see if there's any other backup nearby with them.
Sure. What skill do you want to do to case your neighborhood where you live?
Let's see. Okay, perception skill calls for intelligence. So I'm going to say, ooh, that's a dumb idea for me to do. What's everybody else's perception look like?
My intelligence is 10 and my perception is +4, so I'm a 14.
That's sounding pretty great.
Okay. So what do you want me to do?
If you can just do kind of a sweep of the area and see if you can identify any other like backup that might be waiting inconspicuously for
Okay.
them.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. So what's the difficulty on that, Kyle?
To spot discrete corporate backup would be an 18.
Okay. I'm already at a 14, so
There you go.
rolling my D10. I got a 6, so that's 20.
Cool.
You circle the building again, check out down the street, up the street, on the other side of the opposite building that they're on, go through some lobbies, talk to people you know. After an hour or two, you're pretty confident the Militech guys around the black car with the architect are by themselves. Now, obviously, there's normal city traffic, pedestrians, hot dog guy down the street, but no other Militech guys around that you can tell, unless they're very well hidden.
Well, my family lost everything to the betrayal of a company, just like Militech. And I want the same thing to happen to you, 40.
Oh, what a unique story.
Yeah.
The corpos fucked you over, did they?
Yeah.
Boy, I sure hate that for you.
How many songs does 40 have about that theme?
40.
Noticing a trend.
All right, I say we send a message. We kill those Militech guys and just let them know we're not going to give up this building without a fight.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't kill that architect guy. He's just doing his job.
Yeah, we can let him go.
Oh no, we kill the architect. Architects are enemies of humanity, aren't they? What have they ever done for society?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to measure the contributions of architects to society.
Oh no, what will we do without an architect? I'll tell you what, we go back to caves like the animals we are.
So are you guys going to attack the Militech corpos?
Yes.
I'm killing the architect, aren't I? Architects. It's a farce. It's a sham.
So what's the plan? Are you guys going to walk out the front door of your building and just start shooting?
Yes.
I'd like to see if there's a way for me to stealth back over to the car and maybe, I don't know, rig it to explode.
You just got close enough previously to see what the architect was drawing.
Yeah.
To get to the car without them seeing you. I mean, the car is parked on the curb. They're standing on the sidewalk by it.
Okay. All right.
You could do it. I mean, it would be ridiculously difficult.
Okay.
Can you, help in this game? Can I do something to distract them for him to get over there?
You can help. Distraction would be required. I'd let Austin make that stealth check to get close because Todd was already distracting them.
Okay, but can I double distract them?
Well, this is assuming I have the equipment to do something like that.
What equipment does your character have?
Well, I don't have anything, but
No.
Torch is a cobbler.
He works on shoes.
Wait, I am?
Tinkerer, sorry.
What? I was like, wait, I'm in shoe repair suddenly?
Gonna need you to take a look at me boots. It's my rocker boots, aren't they?
Okay, are you guys going to do something sneaky or just become violent?
Do you guys want to try to rig something up or just attack them?
I'm all for just attacking him.
Okay.
Do you guys want to try to, since you guys are probably better at battling, Austin definitely is, can I cause a distraction so they can try to flank them?
Yeah.
Sure.
That sounds
sure.
good.
What distraction are you causing and what angle are the other guys coming from?
I'm expecting a noodly guitar solo.
No, that's not punk.
That's definitely not punk, Austin.
Well, if anyone knows punk.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys are just going to come around, go the long way around the block, come from their sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So 40's gonna walk over.
So you're approaching them?
Yes.
When you start crossing the street, one of them levels a rifle. Get back or I'm dropping you.
Isn't that typical?
Do you retreat or do you continue forward?
I'd stop where I am, but I continue engaging with them.
Okay.
This here's my building, you see. Bet you didn't know that. Don't know much of anything. You got a ciggy?
Last warning. Go back to your building, loser.
Of course you've got ciggies, you cancer merchants. Don't smoke myself. Don't feel any need to. I'm cool enough on my own.
So what skill are you going to use to distract them while your friends get in position? If you fail, the guards start shooting immediately. And Torch and Mover are a round or two late.
Well, persuasion, I think,
Okay.
works here, and that's my cool. What's my target number here?
Well, they are on edge because they're far from backup.
Okay.
So we'll say competent, 18.
18, okay. I think persuasion is what I'm going for here, and that is my cool plus 6. My cool's a 9, so
Gotcha.
I've got a 15 automatically. So I'll roll a
D10.
D10 and add it to the 15, right?
That's right.
Cool. That's a 10.
Just go back. It's going to be fine. You got nothing to worry about. We're not going to bulldoze your building one day without telling you about it and put up a communications tower.
I'm not worried at all. I know there's no point in fighting you corpo pig fucks, now is there?
And everybody can roll initiative because that is when Torch comes around one corner and Mover comes around the other, and the corporate guys, oh, it's an ambush!
I assume we roll a d10 for initiative.
Yeah, initiative is your reflexes plus a D10.
Oh, okay.
My reflexes are 10. I rolled a 3, so 13.
Mine are also 10. I rolled a 1, so 11.
And I rolled a 17.
So first up is Mover. What weapon are you using?
I'm using my assault rifle.
So they're about 15 meters away. So for an assault rifle, that is a difficulty 10.
Okay. I already have a reflex of 10 and marksmanship of +6, so that's a 16. Plus my cyber optic, so that makes that a 17, even before rolling.
Now, there are 2 hit locations in Cyberpunk Red.
Okay.
The body and the head. These guys do have body armor on, but they don't have any helmets.
All right, let's go for that noggin.
So if you aim for the head, it's a -6 to your check.
Okay, so then that makes it an 11. Is the difficulty still 10?
Well, basically, I think of it as the default difficulty be 16.
Gotcha.
Would you have default success on a 16?
Yes.
Then there'd be no reason for you not to shoot them in the head.
Okay.
So I guess you should technically roll, because you could roll a 1 and roll a critical failure.
Okay.
Even though
that makes sense.
You've basically got guaranteed success so long as you don't roll a critical failure.
Okay,
Well-
so 1s and 10s are crits in this?
Yeah, 1
Okay.
is critical failure, 10 is critical success. And I'm not trying to jink you, Austin. There's no way you're going to roll a 1.
No, that's never happened
That could
before.
never happen.
Yeah.
Especially not with that pretty gold dice from Norse Foundry.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Norse Foundry.
Well, I rolled a 1.
I did it!
Not even a beautiful gold dice.
Can escape my prowess.
So theoretically, you could still... So what's your 2 hit with a 1?
With a 1?
Yeah, so the way... If you roll a critical failure, you roll another D10
Okay.
and subtract the value.
Okay, I can do that. So I'm starting out with a 17. 'Cause
Right.
My reflex is 10. My
And
marksmanship is 6. My cyber optic gives me a +1. So I've got 17. So now I'm going to subtract whatever I roll.
Yeah, and you need a 16 to hit them in the head.
Okay. That's a 5. So I rolled a 12.
So your shots go wide. Do they hit Torch? Low is bad. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll roll a d20. See, this is just the die of fate. I don't think there's actually rules for this in Cyberpunk. I rolled a 2.
Is that good for me?
I can't imagine.
So let's see. What'd you roll? What was your total value at the end?
12.
You're about 30 meters from Torch, which would be a hit on a 10 or better. Yeah, you shoot Torch. It's a critical failure.
Isn't that typical? The oppressed shooting each other.
So, Austin, I'll say you just clip him, so you're only going to do half damage with your assault rifle.
Okay.
Rounding up.
My assault rifle does 5d6.
So 3d6. There's a 6.
I rolled an 11.
So, Todd, you take 11 points of damage as Austin shoots you.
Is that subtracted from my starting hits?
Yeah.
I'm a 25, so that'll be 14.
Do you have any armor?
I do. I have head and body armor.
Okay, what is your body armor value?
They're both 11.
So the way armor works, armor is rated by its stopping power, which I assume is 11. Your attacker rolls their damage. You subtract your armor stopping power in that location, which would be the body, from the damage. You take the remaining damage to your hit points.
Oh, okay. So you soaked all that.
Now, if you end up taking any damage, your armor in that location is ablated, reducing its SP by 1 permanently. However, you didn't take any damage, so your armor just soaks it.
Okay.
Kick
Oh,
ass.
nice.
Cool.
Okay. So not quite such a terrible fuck up right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Isn't that typical? The oppressed shooting each other, and it doesn't work.
So it's Torch's turn. You just got shot. Everything's moving so fast. It must have been one of the Militech security guys. It definitely wasn't Mover. He wouldn't shoot you. He's an expert marksman. It's not like he would roll a 1. Todd, what weapon does Torch use?
Shotgun.
So a shotgun at about 15 meters is difficulty 20.
Oh,
What's a shotgun?
yeah.
Austin was using an assault rifle, which is way more accurate.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Now, you could move closer. You have, on your turn, you have an action and a move.
okay, well, yes, I will move closer, even though I just got hit by a stray bullet from somewhere. I don't.
I mean, you didn't even see the Militech guys move. They must be really good.
Either that or is it better was that architect?
So if you close in below 12 meters, you can fire at difficulty 15.
Okay, I'll do that.
So, Todd, what is your move stat?
It's a 6.
So your move times 2 is how many meters per round you can move?
Uh-huh.
So you could easily close into essentially point-blank range.
Okay, nice.
So your difficulty's 15.
Okay. And I'm using my shotgun, and that will be, I'm assuming, my marksmanship.
Yeah, attacking with a gun is reflexes plus marksmanship plus 1d10.
My reflexes are 10. My marksmanship is a +3, so I'm already at a 13.
I assume you're not aiming for the head.
I am aiming for the head.
No, it's at -6 if you aim for the head. It's an aim shot. There's 2 hit locations, body and head.
Okay.
It's harder to hit the head.
But-
so if you aim for the head, it's difficulty 21, basically. Think of it
okay.
that way.
Okay, but I'm at point blank, so I can. Yeah, I'll.
Well, you can do it at any range,
Right.
but with a shotgun, it's harder to hit than with
Gotcha.
the Austin's assault rifle.
Gotcha. Okay,
So if
so-
you're just doing a torso shot, it's 15. Headshot, 21.
Well, then I'll go for the torso.
There you go.
All right, so I'm at a 13. I need a 15. Once again, really the only way to fuck this up is if I roll a 1.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're not going to roll a 1.
I rolled a 9.
Dang, my powers are gone. Okay, so you hit. What is the damage on your shotgun?
5d6.
All right, roll 5d6.
15.
So you do 15 damage to the chest of the first security guard. He does have body armor. He has Kevlar body armor, which is worth a 7. So right away, that's going to take 1 ablative damage, go to 6. So he's going to take 8 hit points. So the shot knocks him back. He stumbles, goes to one knee. Open fire! It's terrorists! He has an assault rifle. He's going to fire a burst, and you're close, which is he's got a rifle, so it's actually harder. His default difficulty to hit you is 15. Now, instead of going with the default 15 for him, you could choose to evade, which is your dex plus your evasion plus 1d10. If you have reflexes over 9, that is.
My reflexes are 10, and my evasion is a +5.
So you should probably evade then, because you get to add a d10 to your dodge, however.
Okay. So I'm at 15. I'm rolling a d10. What's my target number?
There isn't one. You're setting his difficulty.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so here we go. 15 plus 10, so 25.
Nice.
So, what does this look like when Torch is evading on the sidewalk?
After he fires his gun and knocks the military guy back, he immediately drops to the ground and does like end over end kind of flip thing.
It works because the bullets go wide.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the street, you hear a woman scream. The other guard is shooting at Mover.
Do I get a similar chance?
If you have a reflex above 9, you can evade, yeah.
Okay, I've got a reflex of 10, evasion of +5.
Okay.
So I rolled a 17 altogether.
All right, so he's got 7 plus 9. How do you just barely dodge his burst?
Mover dives behind the car.
Yeah, you hear bullets hammering into it, and it is 40's turn. The architect is panicking, freaking out, yelling. Security guys are returning fire. Mover and Torch are evading and shooting, and presumably 40 is just standing in the street.
You gotta stand for something, don't you? I'll stand for the street. Nobody else is, are they? So 40 looks to the architect and says, "Looky, looky. Corpo dog vomits attacking the middle class. What a surprise."
Are you going to shoot the architect?
I should have made cupcakes. Hope you like carrots.
What gun are you using to shoot the architect?
Euphemism for bullets? I don't understand punk rock.
40 is not going to use her gun. She's attacking the architect.
Okay.
Going to use her slice and dice, which we spoke of earlier. It's a whip type thing that comes out of her finger. Guess which finger it is? It ain't pointy. Or roast beef.
All right. So now, if you're attacking with a melee weapon, you can act twice in one action.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm guessing your whip finger would count as a melee weapon.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. The slice and dice can be used as a garrote, a cutter, or a slice whip. I'm guessing slice whip makes sense here.
Yeah.
I mean, the damage is all the same, so it doesn't matter. It's just-
Sure.
Is this still marksmanship, or what do I use?
You're going to use your dexterity and your melee weapon skill.
Okay, I see. My dexterity is 5. Not so great. My melee is a +3.
Well, he does not have any evasion,
Okay.
so it's going to be his dex and a d10,
Okay.
which I rolled a 4 on, so it's an 11 to hit.
Okay, so I'm starting with a 8 here and rolling a d10. That's a 2. 10 total.
So he rolled an 11. So the whip comes sweeping around in the first hit, and he shrieks, drops the tablet, cowers into a ball, and your whip slashes through the tablet as it falls through the air. You have a second attack?
Okay, so I can whip at him again?
Yeah. He sprints towards the car, rolls a 1 on his evasion, so his to hit is 8.
I'm using my slice and dice again.
Okay.
Base number is an 8. Plus 2.
Yeah. That's what you needed. You hit him.
Okay.
So roll your damage.
The slice and dice is 2d6. That's 10 damage.
Well, he has 10 hit points.
Oh.
He is an architect, not a combat trooper.
Okay.
What's this look like when he is died?
40 finger whips out of his middle finger. The whip wraps around both of his wrists,
Jesus, where is this going?
and he yanks hard, tearing his hands away.
Oh, my art hands!
And what I'm hoping happens is the architect sees this and becomes so distraught that his livelihood is gone that he immediately panics and forgets that he can get cybernetic hands for a minute, and then like immediately throws himself into traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping for.
He does exactly that.
Okay, thanks.
When the Lada hits him, he dies. But also from the massive blood loss of
Well.
having both his hands severed by a laser whip or whatever nightmare weapon you have in your finger. And it's back to the top of the initiative. It is Mover's turn.
Hey guys, get out of the way. And Mover's going to take his. I have a cyber leg with jump boosters.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it means you can leap 6 meters straight up or make a running jump of 8 meters.
Okay.
So powerful little boosters. What I want to do is take my cyber leg and kick their car toward the soldiers. And right as my foot makes contact, I want to engage the jump boosters.
Okay, to use it as a weapon?
Yeah, like to smash it against the guards.
You know what? I'll allow it.
All right, so how do I roll for that?
I don't know. What skill do you think most applies in this situation?
I think body is probably the closest thing to strength. For skill, maybe brawling or athletics.
Let's use athletics.
Okay. So then I've got a total of 14 plus my D10.
So I'm going to say they left it in neutral. So you wouldn't have to kick a car with the brakes on. And we'll say the difficult. I mean, this is pretty hard. So I'm going to say, I mean, this is like definitely heroic to kick a car. So 22.
Okay. Oh, no.
You didn't.
I didn't roll a 1. I rolled a 2. So
Eh.
I rolled a total of 16. So everybody just hears this dull clunk. And then Mover going, shit.
You dent part of your cyber leg. There's some red paint scraped on it.
Oh, look, Mover tried to kick the horseless carriage, did he?
You take a point of damage.
Okay.
Torch.
From my dis?
From kicking a car
Oh, I see.
with all his strength.
Gotcha.
I mean, but the dis is
It was a
psychic damage.
Sick burn.
So you feel bad about yourself now. From the
Question: am I still at point blank range?
you're still at point blank range.
Okay.
They were gonna try to evac into the car after the architect got in, but then somebody chopped his hands off.
So I'm going to use my shotgun again.
Good call.
So it's a 13. What is the difficulty?
15.
That's a 4, so that's a 17.
All right, roll your damage.
Damage is 5d6. 27.
Nice. So their armor will eat 6 of it, so 21. Ooh. Todd, what does it look like when you murder this gentleman?
Well, he puts the shotgun right up against his armor where he hit him previously. He looks at the Militech guy and says, "You like my shotgun? I made it out of a bicycle." And then he pulls the trigger and just blows a hole right through the guy that you can see through. And he like looks through the hole and waves at Mover on the other side over there.
Body topples down with this wet splotch. And it is, Militech number 1 is dead. Let me mark through that guy. Militech number 2. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Obviously, you guys are fighting on a sidewalk just outside a building. There's a hair salon closest. This guy sprints through the door of the hair salon. You hear women screaming. And he turns and he's going to fire at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 40.
Big surprise there.
He rolled a 1 and a 10. So, yeah, I'm not even going to do the math. It's a minus 10 to his roll. The bullets just go wide, arcing into the street. One goes through your office window across the way.
Who's going to pay for that? I'm guessing not Militech.
That would be correct. They are a terrible corporation.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
It is 40's turn, Corey. This guy clearly is looking for a back way out of the hair salon. He is trying to save his life.
Well, I didn't think he was going in for a perm.
He does have a perm, though.
Oh.
So, I mean, it could be it.
I thought I smelled perm. 40's going to use his very heavy pistol.
So heavy pistol, he's about 10 meters away from you,
Okay.
is difficulty 15.
And this is my marksmanship.
Yes.
Okay.
Marksmanship plus,
Reflex is what it says.
yeah, plus 10.
Okay.
Or plus D10.
Okay. My reflex is a 10, marksmanship's a 4. Well, there's a 1.
Oh, no.
Nice. So when you roll a D10, it's going to miss. Yeah, so this hand cannon booms, blows out the windows of the hair salon, but otherwise you miss. And it's Mover's turn.
Guess I'm going to have to pay for that window now, aren't I? Gary at the Homeowners Association is going to love that, isn't he?
Gary is going to love it. He hates you. It's Gary Sinise. He's an old man now.
Now with actual prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's a cyborg. Awesome.
So Mover likes this hair salon. He goes here a lot. They give me my fade.
God.
Of course they do.
So he knows the way around a back alley to come in the back door and flank the Militech guy.
Okay.
And so we're going to say at this point that Mover kicks open the back door to the salon and levels his assault rifle down the middle aisle between all of the customers, straight at the Militech guy in the doorway.
So I mean, you guys are going to kill this dude. There's virtually no chance he makes it through this round of combat.
Au contraire.
I was about to say.
So as long as you don't roll a 1, you guys will kill him.
Okay.
And there's no chance of you rolling a 1.
You know what? I'm going to roll
Twice in one game?
I'm going
There's
to roll
no
a
way.
different D10.
Yeah. There's no
Oh,
way.
wow. Fuck Norse Foundry, huh? Sorry, guys.
Just to mix it up.
Now, the downside is if you roll a 1, he pushes past you and escapes.
Okay. I rolled an 8.
Atta girl.
Ah.
All right, so that's a total of 24.
The hair salon echoes with the sounds of assault rifle fire as Mover guns down a defenseless private security guard. No, everybody loves it. Everybody hates corporate security in here, so they're all cheering you on and throwing hairspray at him. And a quiet settles over the neighborhood. You know there will be a retaliation. And we'll end Cyberpunk there today. I think we'll conclude the apartment adventure next week.
All right.
Okay, cool.
I like this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of similar, like, to other, which I'm sure, since this has been around for so long, I'm sure, like, other RPGs have kind of pilfered from its
of course.
rules because it's got similarities to a lot of stuff we played.
Yes, for sure. And
Like, the combining stats is kind of 2d20.
indeed, I wonder if, I don't know when that became a thing in RPG rules. Cyberpunk could have been the first, or they could have been borrowing it from somebody else.
I just like how simple it is that it's a modifier rather than like particular.
Oh, then giving you dice pool or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The core rules of Cyberpunk are like most RPGs from the early 80s, pretty simple. The complexity of this game, which we probably won't get into that much, is when you get all the cybernetic bullshit that does all this different stuff.
Oh, okay.
But of course, that's the appeal. Like, the difference between an advanced Cyberpunk character and a starting one is an advanced Cyberpunk character has all this nonsense they
So
can do.
all of 40's fingers are whips.
Basically, except one is a whip radio, the other is a whip, disguise. And
Whip radio.
it's interesting. The earliest RPGs were fundamentally simple, but they just had all this complexity built in. For example, early Dungeons and Dragons is really simple. It just has this huge catalog of spells and magic items and monsters.
Yeah.
And that complexity is what's added in. Whereas today, there's a lot more complexity in the character classes in D&D now. I like the combat rules. They're pretty simple and pretty lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely.
I like the lethality of it. I like
Yeah.
rolling 5d6 to determine damage is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a tad different from the G.I.
One
Joe,
sharp.
G.I. Joe or
One sharp
Transformers.
damage.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I-
because like 40 starts out with like 40 hit points. Like,
Yeah, so I meant to mention, if you're using an assault rifle like Mover was, if you use the burst mode, you can do multiple. You can hit with multiple bullets. I think it's for each but 1 point by which you beat the difficulty, you do another iteration of damage, up to 3.
Oh wow.
So you could have essentially been doing 15d6,
Yeah.
I think.
wow.
Unless I read the rules wrong, which is entirely possible. But we'll finish this next week. I think the apartment is not a very long adventure. It's in the beginning. It's designed to introduce you to the rules and the mechanics and how much corporations suck.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Thank you, Barrel and Bond.
100 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah. Militech not allowed
In the
No.
bathroom.
in the bathroom. Yes.
Not since the incident. Thank you to our Patreon members. It is your support that made this possible.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and you're cool.
Yeah, and we often use Patreon members as non-player characters in these games.
Yeah, Matthew Edwards, Todd's corporate enemy, is a
My
Patreon member.
My nemesis.
And he's going to have a speaking line next episode.
Nice.
He's
Oh.
going to taunt Todd. Or, excuse me, Torch.
Yeah,
And there will probably be one or I think I've got a plan for at least one other Patreon member too. So
Yeah, next time it's going to be fun again. Follow us on all the social media places.
leave us a review on your podcast device of choice.
On your agent.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, it looks like, have left reviews on Spotify. So if you have, we really appreciate it. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
except if it's a bad review, then you can go suck on an egg.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd leave a bad review if you've made it to this point in the podcast, but if you have, if you are spite listening, it's still a listen.
It's probably one of these people that starts on like the One Ring chapter 4 or something. Like, I don't get it.
I don't understand.
1 star.
Who the hell is Zip? So thank you. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
I'm Corey.
I'm Austin.